Well, my bunch of toolomaniacs, yeah, toolomaniacs. I think we've landed on a lovely, lovely, lovely gem here. Yeah. Debbie bought me this book. It just says tools. Dominic chineA. Now, I know you're thinking, who the hell is Dominic chineA? Well, this is the bloke out of... what's it called? The repair shop. Yeah, the repair shop where people take things and repair it. So this is a book by him. Now, I'm going to give you a quick flick through, and then I'm going to make another little film behind this one of each little bit that I'm talking about. But we're going to be taken on one hell of a journey. We're going to be taken to the high seas. We're going to be taken, what did I do with that now? Oh yeah, here it is. We know about a plumb line, but did you know why we call this a plumb bob? Why do we call that a plumb bob? We're going to be taken 600 feet, no, was it 60? No, 60 feet. And in Germany, underneath Germany, going back to the 16th century. Yeah. We're going to find a monkey. This isn't a Stanley, but we're going to see what they say about Stanley. We're going to see what they're going to say about Chesterman. Now this, I thought I had a proper little leather Chesterman somewhere, but maybe I've seen them and didn't pick them up anyway. So we'll discover those a bit. We'll know about levels, and there's a level over there that is, adds to the story. So anyway, now I'm going to flick through this book, and it's just full of what you and I would call standard tools. It doesn't look any particular thing, but what it does, it tells you the story of each particular tool. What we think is of sort of tools that we've seen stuff, we've seen the name, and why is it called that? Bonsai scissors, look, yeah. Gardening, this one is grinding, we're planing, look. So it's really now, oh yeah, we've read. Now if there's something, here we are, we've got the monkey wrench in there. Oh, wrong way down. Let's flick that over that way. Now you recognise it, don't you? Now, if there's any particular tool that you've seen here, and then you want me, I've already sort of primed Debbie. I said to Debbie, I'm going to ask. So if you say, argument's sake, you wanted to know about this particular subject, and you want Debbie to read that chapter or that page about that screwdrivers, just let me know. Oh look, panel beating, dollies, Japanese plane, moulding plane, look, jack plane, here we are, a rasp. These are things that I'm sure you and I, we sort of take for granted. And this book has got a fantastic story behind it all, in it and behind it, and I've flicked through a few, and Debbie's fantastic. Debbie will read this. I'll read it. Well, I'm very poor at reading. Now, here we are. This is going to take us to Germany. This is going to take us, was it 60 feet or 6 feet? No, it was 60 feet. Buried, 6 meters, 20 foot. Yeah, now, what was buried 20 foot? Well, I'll make another thing about that. To the tenon saw, look. And the dovetail saw. The story of where it comes from and the age and how it came about. And there's something in here I saw that there's only 2 of them in existence. Look, the tin snips. So what we take for granted as tailor shears, look, this tells us now, did we see a Stanley knife there? Yeah, look, it's even got Now, I haven't got a standing knife. I don't know why. I lose them all the time. When I've stopped losing them, I might go and buy one. But that 199 is the first Stanley knife, the very first Stanley knife. Anyway, we'll come back to that because I'll do a little story on each one. But this book is absolutely fascinating and special, and especially when Debbie reads it out to you. So I'm going to now make little films, even the humble channel lock pliers. What can you say about a pair of channel lock pliers except they're a pair of channel lock pliers? Slip joint pliers. But look, there's a whole page of it there. Wow, mull grips, look. Wow. What an insight. You know, we like collecting. If you wanted to go on to Mastermind and your specialist subject was to be tools, spirit levels, now that's an interesting one. And tape measures. Now, yeah, pencils, look. Even pencils. I think all you'd need, you say my specialist subject is tools, and watch this book. So have I got your attention? This is the first little film, and I'll do little bits of ones, and I'll do snippets of stories that I pick up. So anyway, yeah, we've got something fantastic. Do you know, we pick them up and we clean them and we restore them and we bring them back to life. And yeah, we like to see when they were sold and how much they were sold. So this book now tells you the story of them. Yeah, naming names and dates. It's got names and dates and, you know, the accompanying story. We're going back to the Egyptians and then to the Romans and then to modern day. Yeah, fantastic, absolutely fantastic. So it's on Amazon. Have a look, and I'm going to do you a couple of sort of, I'll find the tool and I'll read a few lines, and then I'll get your juices flowing when it comes to tools. So this was the first page that Debbie read out to me, and absolutely fantastic. So let's have a read of it, shall we? Let's have a read of it and the snippets. Like the dovetail saw, the tenon saw is also named after the type of woodwork joint it is described, right? So we found, look at this, it's the structure, the tenon joints that used a wedge shaped to hold it together. It is on a wooden structure used to reinforce a well in Leipzig, Germany, dating from around 5000 BC. BCE. It was a bit of a miracle that it survived intact for 7,000 years, but it was buried in 20 feet below the surface in a wet, cold and oxygen-free setting. This is the perfect place, for it was a huge discovery. It was the oldest intact wooden structure ever discovered, and made realize that there was some sophisticated craftsmen going on in the Stone Age. Who knew that? Who knew that? There's another bit here that might... the tennis saw... Oh yeah. Made... The dovetail saw is Smith's K from 1816. But it was the closed handle, and the much larger blade of between 19 and 16. As for when the first tenon saw was made, it's hard to pinpoint exactly. Possibly the Robert and Williams Dalway were making them in Birmingham in the 18th century. But before then, the famous White family of saw makers, the first saw makers, anything really known about just outside the city of London, where the making of the saws between 1650 and 1750. So it could be well been them. There are two surviving saws. The trouble is only two of their saws have survived, and neither of them are tenon saws. So if you find an older tenon saw, wow, you're in the money. So anyway, there's that one. Let's try the next one. So I know you all love your Stanley knives. Let's see what it says about the Stanley knife. The Stanley knife is a difficult one to put in a category because everyone in the UK, Australia, New Zealand and parts of Europe, but not the USA, just knows it as a Stanley knife. Yeah, I always call it a Stanley knife. If you're being technical, which I suppose we should be, it's a utility knife with a retractable or replaceable blade. Let's pick out another date. The Stanley knife is used for all sorts of packages. When they were first made their utility knife back in 1936. Stanley referred to it as a number 199. I'm sure you lot, me included, are going to go running around looking for a 199 now. It had a fixed blade, but it was replaceable and was made with a strong die-cast zinc body. You can still buy and get the number 199. See, look, that's what it says there. Now let's see what it did. Stanley was born. Oh yeah, Frederick T. Stanley was born in in 1802 and was one of seven kids growing up on a family farm. As a young man, he worked in all sorts of jobs, including as a clerk on a steamboat, a traveling paddler, and a machine manufacturer. He went into business with his brother in 1831, making door locks, amongst other things. The business didn't survive and the big financial crisis of 1837, but they recovered and reformed the Stanley, where are we going? Stanley Bolt Manufactory in 1842, and the Stanley Works. After a few good years, the business started diversifying, innovating, and trying to sell their wares abroad. This was massively successful, and in 1919, sales were about 11 million, about 170 million today. Look at this, you see? Oh, you could go on. So if you want Debbie to read a paragraph out of a particular thing that you've seen, read it properly and clearly. I love her reading to me. Just let me know, and we'll ask Debbie nicely, will we? Here's another one, look. Now, I thought I had one, but anyway, I've got this plastic version. But we all know what we're on about, don't we? These long tapes that you can wind in. It says there, here's a little teaser for you. Unlike a lot of tools where their origins are tricky to uncover, we know quite a lot about the tape measure. It started with a metalworker called James Chesterman. We know about Chesterman. That rings a bell all the time, doesn't it? James, who moved to London from London to Sheffield in 1820, and later set up a factory that was called the Bow Works next to the River Don. We know that he had affection for the bow, as in the bow and arrow, because his trademark includes one encircled in his initials. Well, let's have a look at that then. Let's have a look. Oh, here's an interesting one. This is what they say. What he's saying about the spirit level. The spirit level is a sealed glass tube containing alcohol and an air bubble. It was invented around 1661 by a Frenchman, whatever his name is, Froggy. He was a colourful character, a bit like me, serving as an ambassador to Rome in the 1650 and appointed to the royal librarian of King Louis the X is 10, V is 5, whatever that is, anyway, in 1684. He also wrote a fabulous book on swimming that popularized breaststroke. Right. As with quite a few few tools, it was the ancient Egyptians who got there first. They had come up with a very clever tool to help measure the level. It was an A-frame, 3 pieces of wood joined together that formed what we know formed the letter A. And at the top of the letter A was a string attached to the weight, hung down below the horizontal piece of the wood, right? So here we are. Now let's get to where they call it plumb bob. I have seen it. I saw it just here now, measuring. We are, look. Plumb. And this is where the word plumb, meaning exactly vertical, is a thing, plumb. We say plumb, don't we? Plumb. Originates sometime in the early 14th century. Plumb comes from the Old French word plumone, right? Which comes from the Latin word plumbum, meaning lead. So that's why we call it a plumb bob, don't we? The word is twisted into plumb bum. We should call it a plumb bum, really. Although the spirit level had been invented in 1661, it was mainly used telescopes and specialist surveying equipment. And it was until the Industrial Revolution that this spirit level produced. See, now look. So we look at that, right? So, and we go right back to here, which was, I forgot it. We looked at this, didn't we? And this, this is the first time for me to see that box. Where were we? Oh, can we go back to where we were? I'm not sure if we can. Yeah, look at this. We found it. I guess that looks like Russian. We're not friends with the Russians at the moment, so we can't ask anyone, can we? But look at that. This is that box. Look. This is that style, that sort of box. But I've got another one in there. So that must be the age of that box. But this is that. We've seen it before. We've been on the internet and we've searched this one before, haven't we? This one says AM Youth Pose. So this is AM Youth Pose, look. So look at the age of this one. Surveying and, you know, absolutely. And who knew? Right, where were we? Right, isn't this, are you hooked? I'm absolutely, completely hooked on this book. And if you want somebody to read this properly out to you, just let me know which particular item you want me to read out to you, and I will. Hold on, let's do the pages. So, if it's in chapter 1, carpenter's rules, machinist rules, pattern making rules, calipers and dividers, engineer squares, combination squares, carpenter's pencil, geographic pencil, tape measures, spirit levels, thread pitch gauge, center punch, scratch anvil, and stitching owl. 2 is bench vise, blacksmith's vise, pipe vise, hand vise, pin vise, machine vise, F clamp, G clamp, tool maker's clamp, jeweler's anvil, blacksmith's anvil, farrier's anvil, sheet metal anvil, mold grips, slip joint pliers, duck bill pliers, needle nose pliers. That's in chapter 2. Chapter 3 now. Hammers, claw hammer, ball peen hammer, pin hammer, stonemason's hammer, plastering hammer, sledgehammer and club hammer, yeah, cross peen hammer, blacksmith's hammer, gold beating hammer, rawhide mallet, dead blow mallet, curved mallet, and carpenter's mallet. That's in chapter 3. Chapter 4. A draw knife, a Stanley knife, a Sloyd knife. What the hell's a Sloyd knife? Anyway, a making knife, embroidery scissors, tailor's shears, pinking shears, wire strippers, wire cutters, aviation snips, tin snips, traditional hand saw, chop saw, hacksaw, junior saw, dovetail saw, tenon saw, ferret saw, jeweler's saw, gents saw, keyhole saw and compass saw, axes, whatever that is, a DZ axe, I guess, splitting axe, and a double bit axe. That's in chapter 4. Chapter 5 is chisels, mortise chisel, hot cut hardy, paring chisel, beveled edge chisel, firmer chisel, a slick, gauge, reshaped gauge, reshaped gouge, yeah, gouge, and a spoon gouge. Half round file, mill file, rasp, rifler, needle file, smoothing plane, jack plane, molding plane, joiner's plane, Japanese plane, dollies and slapper. Oh, dollies and slappers. Hey, we're getting interesting in chapter 6. Chapter 7. Screwdrivers, spanners, wrenches, open end spanners and combination spanners, adjustable spanners, monkey wrench, pipe wrench, plumbing wrench, socket wrench, torque wrench, and Allen keys. We'll go and have a look at a monkey wrench in a minute. Chapter 8. Wow, the big list on here. Leather burnish, round knife, swivel knife, lining brush, pencil wheel, malt stick, cooperer, grinding knife, grinding tip, grinding mop, grinding, bonsai scissors, a dibble, a widger, and a tackle, and a hoe. Yeah, hoe. How simple is a hoe? What are they going to say about a hoe? A purring shears, webbing and stretching, gooseneck webbing stretcher, ripping chisel, a clacker's knife, a lasting pliers, a fudge wheel, an edging iron, a bone folder, and a marbling comb. We're at chapter 9. Toolbox, engineer's cabinet, bench grinder, and a sharpening stone. Yeah, so if any of those you want Debbie to read what it says about it, just tell me what it is and I'll find it and I shall read it to you. Let's go and find the monkey wrench, shall we? Wow, if you only buy it for this alone. Look at this. The pipe wrench is basically an adjustable wrench with a serrated jaw that grips onto pipes like the adjustable spanner. This tool is going to take us on a journey to the USA and Sweden. Ooh, very, very interesting. What do they say about the monkey wrench? Here we are. Let's read the first bit. Hey, a monkey wrench is a type of adjustable spanner with a wide jaw that opens and closes by turning a rotating ring set between the lower jaw and the handle. They became very popular in the USA and in the 1840s, thanks mainly to the efforts of businessman Loring Coits, who developed and patented the new version of the monkey wrench in 1841. The design was inspired by English coach wrenches used to tighten and loosen the nuts on wagon wheels. I eat wagon wheels, right? Which had been imported from North America. Wow. Wow. As you can see, my reading is atrocious. So if there's anything there that you want Debbie to have a look at, read the page for you, just drop me a name and we'll get her to read it, shall we? Well, catch her in when she's in a good mood, when she's in good humour and she reads the whole thing to us. Fantastic. What a find. What a book. I opened that box for a reason. On the tape measure, it says, what's it say here, look? I've got 3 of which were made in Sheffield by James Chesterman and Company. One of these is a linen tape measuring blah, 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 blah. Wait a minute. Real. And the 4th tape measure is linen, dates back to about 1940, and it was made by John Rabone and Son in Birmingham, who were most famous for their rules. Page 10, we'll have a look at that. John Rabone and Son supplied tape measures for the British war effort. If you ever come across one, you can tell it because it features a small arrow with a brass handle and a symbol known as the broad arrow. We know about the broad arrow mark, don't we? But J. Rabone in Birmingham, and I've got their collection. What's missing? Oh yeah, I wondered what was missing out of there. This one, that's a rope gauge, I think that one is. Rope measure. But look, I've got a full collection of J. Rabone. You've seen these before, haven't you? In Birmingham. So isn't it fun? Isn't it fun? We're a bit like detectives. Getting them, collecting them, finding the book, finding the history. Once it's in your head, it's in your head, isn't it? And then you know. So when somebody says, what's in that box? You can tell them, can't you? Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. And the Chesterman. By the way, I wanted to show you this name, and I didn't really know. I haven't touched this because I haven't really been brave enough to want to clean it. I used a bit of wire wool, you know. I've got a bit of wire wool and just rubbed it with a wire wool, and it's brought this up lovely. So I'm going to continue that with the one with the wire wool because we have got one here. We have got one here anyway, but in much better nick. A J. Rabone one. But this is a Chesterman one. Yeah.